It was New Year's Eve when my own father expelled me from home to make room for his new wife's children. Now I have another family. There is no place for you anymore here. It was your cold words. I left aimlessly, but the next day, a scene that would change your life forever unfolded before my eyes. My name is Marina, I'm 20 years old, and that afternoon I was back from the university for the holidays with a light heart. The Christmas songs on the radio no longer bothered me. I just wanted to get home, relive our sacred tradition. Every the 31st of December, my dad and I were in the living room. We prepared a strong tea with lemon and honey, we flipped in photo albums and talked about my mother. Rememberable from the times when we were happy in three, before a car accident had taken her from us 2 years ago. Those moments were our refuge against pain, a ritual that kept us alive. My father, Mikhail Sergeyevich, suffered so much from the loss that in the early months he closed himself as an oyster, plunging into work so as not to sink into sadness. But gradually, he came back. He called every week to know how I was in college, offered financial aid, and his voice always carried a tone of those who lost his way. How not to lose, when you lose the love of life? I arrived at our house in the suburb of Moscow around 6 in the afternoon. Something was different, but I couldn't identify what. Would it be a new garland? A decoration that he had prepared? I grabbed the trunk bag and looked for the keys in my bag. It was then that the world collapsed. The key did not rotate in the lock. I tried again, thinking it was just tiredness of the trip, but no. The lock was another. My father never changed the locks. I knocked on the door. I heard steps. When she opened, a woman I had never seen stared at me with a look of who was interrupted by a beggar. "What do you want?" he asked, without even disguising the discomfort. I was paralyzed. "This is my father's house. I'm Marina, I came to vacation here." His face changed instantly, as if someone had pushed a button. The coldness gave way to a forced smile, those who do not deceive anyone. "Ah, my God, you are Marina," he exclaimed, as if talking to a child. "I am Elena, your father's new wife. He has gone to the market, but already comes back. Enter, between, my dear." I was hit by a truth like a punch in the stomach. My father had married. And not even warned me. When? Why? I entered the suitcase, and although everything seemed the same, nothing was like before. New paintings on the walls, different curtains, strange objects scattered. "I'm going to my room," he said, heading for the stairs. "Ah, my daughter, better to wait for her father here." Elena blocked my way with a sweet smile to be sincere. "Your room is busy at the moment." "Busy?" I repeated, incredulously. "Who?" "Let's go, feel, your father explains everything." I had no choice. I left the suitcase on the floor and sat on our old couch, while Elena settled so close that she made me back. "I understand that this is a shock to you," she continued, with that plastic smile. "But it was love at first sight, as in the movies, I swear. We got married for 2 weeks, only both of us and my boys in the notary's office. Her children, Tirimar and Igor, 8 and 10 years old, were some loves," she said. "And my father. He loves them. He doesn't live without them." It was then that I heard a noise up there, screams, heavy steps, something falling. "They are my little angels," laughed Elena. "They are so happy. We lived tight in a tiny apartment, and here they have so much space." "And where exactly did they play?" I asked, although I knew the answer. "Ah, your father reformed his room for them. He painted blue, put bunk beds, filled with toys and even a video game. He is so affectionate." My breath failed. That was my room, where I grew up, where I cried for my mother, where I kept every memory. "And my cord?" "SARS. Well, that you talk to your father. You should reach an agreement," she said, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. The front door opened. My father came in with supermarket bags, and seeing me, there was no joy, nor a tight hug as before. Just a dry nod. "Hello, Marina. I see that you have already met Elena." "Hi, Dad." I got up, waiting for some gesture of affection, but he just left the shopping at the table. "Well, you are here. So we solved it all at once." He sat in the armchair and looked at me as those who face a problem to be solved. "Marina, you need to understand, now things are different. I have a new family. They live here. There is no more room for you. The floor seems to have opened under my feet. Dad, today is New Year's Eve. I came to vacation here. Where am I going? He just shrugged. That's your problem. You're 20, Marina. It's adult. Adults solve these things alone. Alina, always helpful, suggested, how about a hotel? Or go back to the Republic? Sure, there is someone there. I looked at my father, hoping he said, I'm kidding, of course you stay. Let's see the albums, remember your mother as always. But he remained silent. At least can I stay tonight? Just even get somewhere else. Alina did not even end. Oh, what an embarrassment. Tomorrow my parents arrive from Irkutsk, my brother with family. All beds will be busy. You would only disturb. And he added, almost cheerful, your things are already packaged. 3 boxes, in your old room. You can get and leave. I climbed the stairs with the trembling legs. In the corridor, photos of Alina with the boys. None of mine, none of my mother. I pushed the door of what was no longer my room and almost faded. Walls painted with an aggressive blue, bunk beds in place of my bed, toys thrown on the floor, superhero posters. In the corner, 3 cardboard boxes. 20 years of life reduced to 3 boxes. I went down with them one by one. My father and Alind whispered in the kitchen. Seeing me, they silenced. Okay, did you get it all? She asked, radiant. I looked at my father for the last time. Seriously, father? Expels me on the eve of the new year? He didn't even look at me. You will handle, Marina. Always gave. I put the boxes in the trunk, still waiting for him to run behind me, say it was a bad joke, a misunderstanding. It didn't run. Enter the car, not knowing where to go. It already darkened, and the next day everything would be closed. I took the phone and started calling relatives. Aunt Lisa, P.O. Box. Uncle Roman, unanswered. Prima Genia, only called without service. Finally, Aunt Galia answered. Marina, honey, how are you? Aunt, sorry to bother, but I'm in a difficult situation. Can I stay there today? Ah, my daughter, we're in OMSK. We fly to Anatoly family in the morning. We only came back after the parties. Something happened? No, okay. Happy New Year. I hung up, leaned my forehead on the wheel. Everyone had to go. All, except me. It was then that I remembered Grandma Rhea, my mother's mother, who lived in a 2-hour city. We hadn't been talking for a long time. My father always said he should not bother her with our problems. But maybe. I typed the number. She answered in the second touch. Marinochka, what a joy. I was just thinking about you. Hi, Grandma. Listen, I need to ask you something. And it's hard. His voice, always so firm, now trembled with worry. What happened, my granddaughter? Your voice is strange. I sighed deep. Dad married 2 weeks ago. And tonight, expelled me from home. He said he has no place for me anymore. Now they're his new wife and her children have nowhere to go. On the other side, a heavy silence. Then, like a sleeping volcano that wakes up, Grandma Rhea exploded. This son of mine lost the judgment for good. Get in this car right now and come here. Lose you a second even thinking. Drive carefully. I'm going to prepare dinner. And then, for the first time that day, I cried. They were not tears of anger, like those who suffocated me in my father's house. They were tears of relief, gratitude. Thank you, Grandma. I arrive in about 2 hours. I love you, my girl. Now go. I'll be waiting. The 2 hours on the road should have been time to reflect, but each kilometer only fed my fury. How could he do this? Marry without even warning me? Who was this Alina? Where had she emerged from? When I arrived at Grandma's house, it was over 9. She should be eyeing the window, because the door opened even before I touched the bell. Ah, my dear, he said, squeezing me against his chest with a force that almost took my air. Enter soon, it must be starving. The smell of cinnamon and vanilla wrapped me like a hug. In the corner of the room, a small Christmas tree blinked with colorful lights, and the table was set to 2 people, with the dishes of special occasions. I made your favorite food, Grandma said, guiding me to the kitchen. There were pancakes with puree and a still hot chalup in the oven. We sat at the table, and for the first time that day, I was able to breathe without something squeezed my chest. Now tell me everything from the beginning, she ordered, with a tone that admitted no refusal. I told you everything: the arrival at home, the key that no longer served, the strange that occupied my room with their children. As my father had looked at me like I was a hindrance, something to be discarded. Grandma heard in silence, but I saw her nodes from her fingers as white as she tightened the napkin. This idiot, he finally murmured, shaking his head. That's not how I created him. I have no idea what happened to him. Didn't you really know about the wedding? Not a word. For months he hasn't answered my calls. Always says it's work. Work, work. I should have suspicious that something wasn't right. After dinner, Grandma took the phone and called Elena Petrovna, my father's neighbor. Lena, it's Ray. What do you know about this woman with whom my son has married? On the other side, a sigh. My God, Raya, you don't know? They have been together for about 3 months. She moved there a few weeks ago with her children. They married the notary 2 weeks ago, quiet, almost no one. Grandma looked at me, his eyes wide. 3 months. 3 months he knows this woman and is already marrying. The boys are even good, Elena continued. But noisy, they run through the yard shouting. And she walks with a huge jeep, always parking in the middle of the passage. The neighbors are furious. After a few minutes, they turned off. Grandma wasted no time. He died my father's number. He answered in the third touch. Mom, now it's not a good time. Mikhail Sergeyevich, you will hear me. What story is you up to? No, are you going to explain what you are doing? Have you killed your daughter from home because of a woman she has known 3 months ago? Mom, please, not now. Now yes. Why did I hear about your wedding for your neighbor and not for you? I didn't want to worry her, he stammered. I was going to tell about Alina when everything calmed down. Worrying? When you needed money for the business last year, you called me at 2 in the morning. But a wedding doesn't deserve a warning. I could hear the tension in his voice. I feared you didn't like Alina. She's younger. I thought she was going to judge me. So changing your daughter for a stranger is the solution. This Alina thinks Marina is a threat. He says he will only bring problems. Grandma turned red. This woman doesn't even know my granddaughter, who she thinks is to talk about my Marina. But my father had already turned off. Grandma hurled the phone on the table. He will still regret it. Mark my words. We spent New Year's Eve night trying not to talk about him or Alina. Grandma brought old albums that I hadn't seen it for years, photos of my small father, her with Grandpa before he died. He prepared hot cocoa, and we were awake until dawn, watching one of those old carnival movies on TV. But I saw, in her small gestures, that anger still boiled. He murmured something about urgent children and opportunistic women as he tidied up the table. On the morning of January, we opened gifts. She, of course, had bought things to the case of a doubt, as she always did. You never know when the granddaughter will appear, he joked, but his eyes were serious. Around noon, she called my father again. Mikhail, I spent all night thinking about your follies. I made a decision. If you want to give preference to a stranger instead of your own daughter, but know that from today you are out of my will. Everything, the house, the economies, goes to Marina. He turned off with a snap and turned to me. Don't worry, my dear. Now everything is yours. He made his choice. I confess that I moved. Not by the inheritance, but by the fact that Grandma was willing to cut ties with her own son because of me. A few hours later, a car stopped in front of the house. Grandma peeked out the window. Speak on the devil. Your father arrived. He knocked on the door tightly. Mom, open. We need to talk. Grandma opened, but blocked the entrance. What do you want, Misha? He pushed her to the side, pointing his finger at me. You are poisoning my mother's head. You are trying to separate us. I spoke the truth. You kicked me home on New Year's Eve. You're angry because I'm finally happy. It can't stand that after your mother's death, I found someone. That hurt. Very. Dad, I just want you to be happy. But you didn't even warn me that you were going out with someone. The more about the marriage. Alina was right. He said you were going to be jealous, that would try to get away. Grandma put themselves between us, the Serrado fists. Enough. Don't you dare insult my granddaughter into my house. She's already an adult. 20 years, Marina. It's time to grow. We and Alina think you need to learn. Grandma imitated her tone with disgust. 3 months with this woman and already follow her advice on her own daughter. Alina understands me, said my father, the cold voice. She makes me happy as it wasn't since the Reed died. And Marina's happiness. And your father's duty. He looked at me coldly. Now my duty is with my new family. Alina's children need a father. I will be with them. Marina had 20 years of my time. Now it's the stepdaughter's turn. So is that. Do you change me for them? I'm not changing anyone. Just establishing priorities. His tone was ice. And speaking of priorities, I won't pay college anymore. Alina thinks money is better invested in boys. Timu and Igor need sports classes, summer camps. You turn to pay your studies. My heart stopped. He had promised to cover the 4 years. There were 2, the most expensive, with specialized subjects. Don't worry, Grandma intervened, fast. I pay Marina's college. Until the last penny. My father blushed. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You're turning it against me. No one is turning anyone against anything, Mikhail, said Grandma. You made this choice yourself when you preferred a stranger to your own daughter. He struggled between us, his face circumvented face. They'll regret it. Alina was right. We need to cut ties with those who don't support our marriage. Then go, said Grandma, low and firm. And don't come back. With your wife and Shoots. But don't come back asking forgiveness. The door knocked so hard that the glasses trembled. And that's when I faded. I didn't cry like that since the day I lost my mother. Ah, my girl. Grandma squeezed me against her, the trembling fingers in my hair. Forgive me, forgive me. I don't understand what. And it gave him. It was not like that before. Her voice broke, and I felt the weight of each word. Some men lose their judgment when they choose the wrong woman. Your grandfather always said, a bad woman can turn a good man into strange. The next day, Grandma spent hours on the phone. He called uncles, cousins, family friends. Told everything. Everything. Until the last humiliation, the last lie. When he dusk, half of the family had already cut ties with my father. His partner's wife called, the invitation to the company event was cancelled. Uncle Tolir, who was going to invest in business expansion, gave up on time. Let's see how he will enjoy being alone, said Grandma, the cold eyes like steel. I stayed with her on all the holidays. Then at the university. But every week, without fail, the phone rose. Marina, your Aunt Polika will not hire Alina. His father borrowed to Tolir, and he refused. The news spread like fire. No one else wanted to know about them. 2 weeks later, another connection, and Petruvna says that their house became hell. Alina screams with the boys, her father shouts with her. The neighbors already complained in the group of the building. I confess, I didn't feel sorry. I felt was a bitter satisfaction. He had made his choice. That now reap what you planted. 2 months later, he appeared at university. I left the psychology class when I saw him, stopped there, ridiculous in the suit too expensive for the occasion. Marina, we need to talk. I didn't want to hear anything, but the curiosity was stronger. We went to a cafeteria outside the campus, sitting facing each other. He wasted no time. This is all your fault. Direct to the point, as always. Because of you, the family no longer talks to me. Tolir cancelled the investment. Paulina doesn't work for Alina. Everyone treats me like a leper. I moved the coffee, watching it. It was older. The dark circles, the curved posture. It was you who chose, Dad. Chose Alina and her children instead of me. He swallowed hard. This is just the consequences. My business is sinking. Alina and I fight all the time. She threatens to leave. I shrugged my shoulders. It's not my problem anymore. Do you remember when I said I needed to grow and solve my things on my own? His face burned. You have to fix it. Call the grandma. Tell me. Say you didn't expel me. I got up and left him there, alone with his coffee and his choices. 2 years passed. Grandma paid my college, as he promised. I spent all the holidays with her. I didn't see my father, I didn't talk to him, but Grandma kept me informed. His business broke for good, he said in the 3rd year. And Petrovna says he called all contacts, asking for help to get a job for Alina. No one stumbled. She stayed at home with the boys, demanding her husband to play everything. They fight almost every night, said the neighbor. The boys were out of control, with problems at school. Alina discounted on them. In the last year of college, Grandma called bombastic news. Your father was forced to sell the house, Marina. He bought a tiny apartment on the periphery. And Alina? He left. He took the boys and returned to his parents' house. He says he didn't sign to live in misery. And Petrovna added, she spread to the neighbors her father promised a luxury life. When the money was over, it disappeared. I didn't feel sorry. Just a cold certainty, justice had been done. In graduation, Grandma wept with pride in the front row. Uncle Tolir came with the family. Aunt Paulina brought flowers. Half of the relatives appeared to congratulate me. He was there too, on the last bench, the cheap suit poorly adjusted to the body. After the ceremony, he approached when I was with the family. Marina, a minute. We move away. Congratulations, he murmured. Your mother would be proud. He paused. I want to fix things. I know I made a mistake. I separated from Alina. You were right about it. I looked at him, studying each gas, each hair white. What do you want, Daddy? I want my daughter back. I want to be your father again. She had gotten a job at a construction company, earned little, but it was honest work. I want us to be a family again. I smiled, without joy. You decided to stop being my father. You can't simply go back when the first option went wrong. I know I hurt you. But people make a mistake. Can't you forgive me? I thought long time. I'm not ready. Maybe one day. But not now. He nodded, disappointed, but without arguing. I understand. Months later, I got a job at a marketing agency in Moscow. I rented my own apartment. I started my adult life. Grandma vibrated with pride. I always visited her. I took gifts, small payments for the salvation she gave me when I had nowhere to go. One day she called with news. Her father has gotten new investors. He thinks she can rebuild what she lost. And she's going out with a new woman. It's called Irina, it's his age. She's a nurse. Entervna says she's a decent person. 6 months later, Grandma invited us to dinner. I almost refused, but she asked as a special favor. He was better. Full, less tense. The new business is going well, he told the table. Made custom-planned furniture. Smaller than before, but makes a profit. And Irina. It's something else. Nothing to do with Alina. Good, honest, don't care about money. I wanted me to know her. I didn't say yes, but I didn't say no either. I'm also going to a psychologist, he continued, surprising me. I try to understand why I made such stupid decisions. Why did I prefer a woman who barely knew my own daughter? I never saw him admit that he needed help. The therapist says I was so afraid of being alone after his mother died that I ignored all the signs that Alina was bad. I don't expect you to forgive me now, but I hope that one day we can rebuild something. I looked at that man, my childhood hero, my tormentor, now a stranger trying to redeem himself. Maybe. One day. But it will take time. He nodded. I'll wait as long as it takes. Today, my life is good. Ascension career, my apartment, friends who are worth it. I visit Grandma every 2 weeks, always with something special, my way of thanking you to save me when the world collapsed. I change messages with my father from time to time. We see ourselves on special dates, at Grandma's house. We speak with education, but without intimacy. You may never be like before, and it's okay. I learned that who should love you more than anyone can be the one who hurts you the most. And I learned that real family is not just blood. It's the one when everything crumbles.